After months of wrangling, a UN Security Council resolution on Syria proposed by European Council members was vetoed by Russia and China. Russia's ambassador said international intervention in Syria's domestic affairs would only encourage confrontation, not reform. He pointed to Libya, where he said Western powers had overstepped the Council's mandate of protecting civilians.
But what we see is the policy of regime change and the policy of enticing the opposition, the policy of telling the opposition and everybody, diplomats, we are not going to talk to the government, you should not talk to the government, you should continue this thing, and we believe this is very dangerous.
The French called it a political move on Russia's part, ignoring ongoing human rights offenses by the Assad government.
Our objective is simple, and it remains simple. We must cease the brutal crackdown from the Syrian authorities against its own people. We're calling legitimately to exercise their most fundamental rights, allowing thus, in a context free of violence and intimidation, for the emergence of a political process that is inclusive and that is brought forth by and for the Syrians.
The draft resolution did not include sanctions or an arms embargo, all dropped by the Europeans in an attempt to win the support of Russia and other council members. The United States, which also supported the draft, questioned Russia's motives.
Let there be no doubt. This is not about military intervention. This is not about Libya. That is a cheap ruse by those who would rather sell arms to the Syrian regime than stand with the Syrian people.
The Syrian ambassador accused the U.S. of meddling in Syria to advance Israel's aims, prompting the American delegation to walk out. Russia and China offered their own draft resolution addressing the ongoing violence in Syria, but European members of the Council say they've made as many concessions as they are willing to make. Considering 4 other members of the Council abstained from the vote, it was a resounding defeat, and future international action appears unlikely. Kristen, Saloomey, Al Jazeera, the United Nations.